Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about KUCCPS payment problems. Many students apply for courses through KUCCPS portal, but after paying they face problems. Now some students do not get a confirmation message and others paid through M-Pesa, but the portal still says payment has not reflected. Others may enter the wrong code and the application does not submit. So in this video, I am going to explain what you need to do in case you face any of these problems. And I'm going to use very simple steps. So please listen carefully because this can save you a lot of time, stress, and money. First, let us understand the payment process. When you apply through KUCCPS, you choose your courses. Then you submit your application. After that, the system will ask you to pay 1,500 and then the payment is done through eCitizen. Now, if you use M-Pesa, you may receive an SMS after paying, and that SMS is very, very important. Do not delete it or ignore it. Make sure that you have it for record because you may need it again later. Now, here is the most important point. KUCCPS does not want the M-Pesa transaction code when submitting. This is what most students miss. What the system wants is the eCitizen payment reference code. This is also called the eCitizen account number. Now, many students confuse the two. Let me explain. The M-Pesa transaction code is the short code at the beginning of the M-Pesa message. So every M-Pesa message, any other message, has that transaction code, and it is always the one that begins the message. But the payment reference is the account number inside the message. So instead of that code which is beginning the message, when you pay for your KUCCPS during application, you are going now to see another code inside that message. So if the portal says your payment has not reflected, first check if you entered the right code. Now do not rush to pay again. You need to confirm this. The first problem that I'm going to address is when you paid but the portal still says payment has not reflected. If this happens, do not panic. First, you just need to wait for a short time maybe for it to reflect. And sometimes the system may delay, so the portal may be busy. And this happens more when many students are applying at the same time, especially those who like to apply in the last minute. You may find that it will take a lot of time for it to reflect. Now, after waiting for some time, what you need to do is to go back to the portal and then click on I have paid. There is that icon which shows I have paid. Click on it. Then enter the eCitizen payment reference code. Make sure that you enter it exactly as it appears. Do not add any spaces. It is usually one combined code. Do not also remove any number. It must be accurate. And do not enter the M-Pesa transaction code, which I have explained, that is usually at the beginning of the M-Pesa message. You need to use the account number or the eCitizen reference code. Now, after entering the code, submit again. And I believe this should work. It should work and the portal will show that your application has been submitted successfully. Now, you may also receive an SMS showing that your application was submitted. If this does not work, maybe you have another problem. So I'm going to address problem number 2. And the second problem is when you received M-Pesa confirmation but no KUCCPS confirmation. This can happen. The M-Pesa message only shows that money was paid, but KUCCPS confirmation comes after your application was submitted. So paying alone is not enough. You must go back to the portal and click on I have paid. Then enter the eCitizen payment reference code and then submit your application. Now, if you paid but never completed this step, your application may not be submitted. So always check your application status. Do not assume that the payment means that you are done. So you have paid, yes, but you need to make sure that on click I have paid so that the system can update your information. Now, if that still doesn't solve your problem, maybe it is another issue. So let us go to problem number 3. The third issue is that you lost your M-Pesa message. Now, if you lost the M-Pesa message, do not panic still. First, check your phone messages carefully. And if it is not there, then you need to know the date when you paid and the amount you paid. Also check if the message is in old messages. If you still cannot find it, you can request for your M-Pesa statement. Use the number that made the payment. So when asking for the statement, it must be asked from the number that made that payment. Then check the payment details and look for the account number used during the payment. Now that account number is what you need. You can also contact KUCCPS for help, but make sure you have your details ready. You need to have, for example, your KCSE index number, your KCP index number, and your KCSE year. Then you also need to have your phone number ready, the phone number, especially the one that you used to pay, then the payment date, the payment amount, and then when you call them now, it will make it easier for them to help you because they are going to identify who it is that needs help. Now, if you still can't get help at this point, let us look whether your problem is different. We have another problem. Problem number 4 is that you paid to the wrong account. So there are cases when you might pay to the wrong account, but if that happened, do not keep trying to enter the same wrong details, because if the account you entered is wrong, that means it will not go to your account. In this case, you need a reversal actually, because KUCCPS says wrong payments can be reversed after the applicant sent a request with transaction details. Now, the reversal may take time, and it can take, for example, 1 day, just like the other reversals. It can also take several days, depending on the kind of help you are going to get. So be careful before paying, and always pay using the details shown on the KUCCPS payment page. Make sure that you don't put errors or the wrong details there so that the payment will go to your account. Do not use old pay bill numbers from old screenshots. Make sure that as you pay, do not just pay because someone told you this is the pay bill number. Go to the portal and confirm whether that is the number, because it do change. Do not use WhatsApp groups or information from strangers from social media. It can be very misleading. Go to the portal and see how they are saying you pay, especially the one that prompts you. The one you say you pay, you enter your number and then it sends you the prompt. That is the best, so that you can avoid paying to the wrong till numbers. Then let us look at problem number 5, is when the portal is slow or not loading. Now, sometimes the portal can be slow, and this happens when many students are applying. And if this happens, just try again later. It could be just there are so many people trying, and maybe your connection is slow. If your connection is slow, you need to use a stronger internet connection. Now, avoid rushing on the last day, because if you rush on the last day, that means that you don't have much time to wait, and that can be very hectic. Also, avoid making the same payment many times. Just pay once, and if there was a problem, try to ask for a reversal or try to see how you can correct it. And if you keep paying again and again, you may create even more problems and your money may not come back to you. So pay once, keep that M-Pesa message, and use the correct eCitizen reference to submit. Now, how to check if your payment has reflected? This is what you do. You can check the payment through eCitizen. Currently, this is what you can do. You can dial at *222#, okay, and then choose the option for checking payment. Enter the invoice number or the eCitizen payment account details, then follow those prompts that you've given, and this will help you to know whether the payment has reflected. Or you can just check whether your details have been submitted or your application has gone through in the KUCCPS, because if it has gone through, it means that the payment has been accepted. Remember that when checking the payment, it is not same as submitting your application. After confirming that your payment has gone through, go back to the portal and complete your application so that those courses that you selected can be submitted through the system. There are some mistakes that you need to avoid, and I'm going to state them briefly so that when you are paying, you can make sure that you don't make these mistakes. Number 1, using the M-Pesa transaction code instead of the eCitizen payment reference. I have talked about this. Then number 2 is deleting the M-Pesa confirmation message. Remember, we said that you might need it later, so keep it. Then number 3, paying again too quickly. When you see that you have made a mistake, don't rush to pay, because it could be maybe the code you are entering wrongly. So what you need to do is that you wait, take time and understand where the problem is, and then solve it. Then mistake number 4 is using old payment instructions. Here we have said that enter only those details that are shown in the KUCCPS portal. Look at the portal, what do they require, then pay using those instructions, because what they used last year, what they are using this year may not be what they will use next year. So make sure that you don't pay with what people are telling you, but with what is actually written in the portal. Then mistake number 5 is waiting until the deadline day. This is a big mistake, because if the system is down, the deadline can pass you. Don't wait until the last day. Do it early enough so that you can take your time to look whether those details, those payment details are correct. And if you need to wait, you can wait for a day or so. But if you do it on the last day, you won't have time to wait, and that can be very hectic for you. Then mistake number 6 is paying someone online who claims they can fix it. If someone tells you they can fix it for you to pay them, don't agree with them. The only one who can fix it is you through the KUCCPS portal. So be careful and make sure that you avoid all of these mistakes. There are many scammers online, especially during the application, and don't be afraid to any of them. Make sure that you do it yourself, and if there is someone helping you, you need to be there with them, maybe in a cyber or with a guardian, a parent, or your sister or brother, anyone who can help you, but be present to look what is going through in your portal. So finally, if your KUCCPS payment is delayed, do not panic. Just check your M-Pesa message. Find the eCitizen payment reference code. Do not use the M-Pesa transaction code. Then go back to the portal, enter that code, and then click on I have paid. Enter the correct reference code, then submit the application. If it still does not work, check through *222# to see whether your payment went through. And if the problem continues, now you need to call the KUCCPS with your full payment details. Remember those details I have mentioned before. And most importantly, make sure you apply early. Do not wait until the last day, because if these problems arise in the last day, it can be very difficult to solve them. The earlier you apply, the easier it is for you to fix mistakes, even with you taking your time. If this video was helpful to you, please like it, subscribe if you have not already subscribed, and share it with anyone else who might need to hear this information. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed.